Hello everyone and welcome to Warrior Gaming's AO Tuts. I'm your favorite wacky host, Rygol, and today we'll be diving into Albion Online in order to help you better understand the in-game mini and macro maps. Stay tuned. Welcome to today's episode of Warrior Gaming AO Tuts, and today again we're going to be going over the mini and macro map inside Albion Online. So, you might be asking yourself as a new player, what is the minimap? You're used to it in probably other games such as League of Legends, Dota, etc. Well, the minimap, as you see here in Albion Online, is located here in the bottom right corner of your screen. When you are in a yellow or red zone, which is indicated right here by this tile next to the name of the zone, it'll show the color or type of zone, such as, again, if it's a yellow zone and you can hover over it, it'll indicate if it's a red zone, or a black zone or blue zone. Now, keep in mind that when you're in a yellow zone, you cannot be killed, you can only be downed even by red flagged players. This being said, you can and will be killed if you are, for example, Martlock flagged and run into an enemy faction flagged player. In red zones you can be killed by any red flag player, or if you're red flag, you can be killed by any blue flag player, including factional warfare players. In a black zone, it's all free game. Everyone can and will be killed. The advantage of being in the royal continent, such as yellow and red zones, is this little indicator down here as to the number of hostile players within this region or cluster. Currently, here in Elden Hill, there are 7 hots or hostiles, which of course fluctuates as you just witnessed, down to 4 red or hot players. That is a good idea, especially if you're gathering, such as in gathering gear as I'm in, to let you know it's like, okay, so I've got 4 hot players. I don't know if they're together or if they're against each other or hunting different sides of the map. So I have to be cautious as to what I do, and I need to come up with a escape route or backup plan. Now, the minimap, as you'll see, is designated by cardinal direction, north, east, west, but obviously not south. But everyone should know south compared to the other cardinal directions. This is particularly useful when you're in a PvP, PvE, or ZVZ situation. So, if you're being led by a shot caller or a group party leader, and they're telling you move northwest, then you'll know I have to move northwest in this direction. For example, if you have to exit out of the gate that is northwest. Or if they say, hey, let's go to the Hellgate that's in the north, you'll know that this is a red hell portal is a 5-man Hellgate, and a orange or yellowish tinge portal is a 2-man Hellgate, no matter what zone it's in. These squares on the map are territories. If they are red, they are territories owned by any guild or alliance that is not your own, and if they are blue, they are your territory that is owned by your guild, and if they're purple, they are owned by an alliance member guild, which means that you can enter and exit that territory willingly. Here on the map, you'll also notice, here on the minimap, that there are faction forts or faction flags. These flags indicate if the forts within this cluster or map zone are controlled by any specific city, such as Martlock outside Elden Hill. There are also open world treasure chests, which do spawn some decent loot from time to time. When you see the lid on it, that means that it has just spawned. When the lid is off, it's already empty and you have to wait for the next timer. We'll be going into the timers here in a little bit. Another beneficial part of the minimap is the UTC timer. So if your guild or alliance states that they have an event that's coming up at, let's say for example, 2300 UTC, then you can rest assured that you've got time because it's 22:42 within game UTC time, which means that you've got approximately 18 minutes to get to wherever you got to go for that destination for that event. That of course is the minimap. You can also ping, which is there are many buttons here on the side of the minimap. So of course the M key, which opens up the localities map, the actual world map, which shows you the big open world of Albion Online. You've also got N as in Nancy, which shows the localized map for Elden Hill, for example. Then, of course, you'll see where it does show 2 hostile players, resources here in the top, what tier lowest tier to highest tier of that specific resource that's available within the cluster or zone, along with the percentage chant or rate of enchanted resources within the cluster, and it shows a full breakdown of what those resources can and will be. This timer here is regarding GVG fights. Of course, once Queen comes out in January, this will be pretty much non-existent. The replacement for open world GVGs for territories will be Crystal GVGs or Crystal Leagues, as Sandbox Interactive has recently announced. So these timers become irrelevant in terms of GVGs, but they do still remain relevant in terms of the open world territories, pretty much prime time, as these are known. So if a GVG would have typically been at 1 to 5 UTC currently as of the making of this video, that means as of the time when Queen Update releases, this territory can be opened up to attack between 1 and 5 UTC, which is prime time for that territory. The same holds true for hideouts within that same map cluster. So even if a guild decided not to attack the territory, they could launch an attack on a hideout that is scattered wherever within the cluster if there is one. And those will also show up on the minimap here in the open world. So once you go into a zone, so for example, if we were in a black zone and someone set up a hideout and it was right here, when you go into this big localized map of the cluster or local area, you'll be able to see the location and if it's vulnerable, which is indicated by a red top of the hideout, or invulnerable, which is a red top of the hideout, or a blue color on the top, which means that it can be attacked, which will correlate with the actual prime time of the territory or area of the map. Now, other features are zoom, where you can zoom into the minimap area. So you get somewhat zoom, full zoom, and then it's just a standard map. Me personally, I enjoy playing on here because I can, of course, set up pings and see where pings are from my party or guildmates that are in the area. Now, pings are by default hotkeyed to your P key if you're on a computer. I like having it to where it's next to my one hotkey, which is the tilt key, because it makes it fairly simple for me to just simply reach out with my pinky or one of my fingers in order to hit it and ping and still be able to use abilities and continue pushing onwards in a fight or corralling someone for a gank. Now, let's dive into macro maps. The macro map is, as you can see right here, shows you all the different map clusters and locations within the world of Albion. It is a good idea to constantly look at this when necessary, so if I'm in Elden Hill and I know that the southeast exit of Elden Hill is blocked off by gankers, for example, then I know I have the ability to escape through southwest, northeast through the underground hideout adit, which is here, which leads me to Runnel Sink, or going northwest into Lutzen Hill, for example. And the best way that I can take advantage of these escapes is if, for example, I was Martlock faction flagged and Bridgewatch was coming in and holding this side of the territory map of the map itself in terms of holding the gate. So that gives me 3 options for escape, because I'm aware of what my surroundings are for this local map cluster and what my potential path back to safety is if I need to escape to a different city after deflagging or make it back to Martlock without any issues, say I'm doing a caravan. Another beneficial feature of paying attention to what the local map area is learning where chokeholds are. For example, tight little sections of the map such as bridges, ramps, or any other passageways that look like they're a tight fit for a big large group such as a Zerg, but can be taken advantage of for your own Zerg's AoEs and CC capabilities. It is good to always pay attention, or even if you're not fairly familiar with the map location or cluster that you're in, press N, pull it up, take a look. So if I'm up here and we're pushing down this way, or for a retreat to bait them back, what are our options? We could pull them back to here, we could pull them back to here, or we could pull them back to here, for example, because it's tight little corridors where we can funnel them. Remember, this game is no different from real life in terms of like the movie 300 with King Leonidas. You want to funnel a group that's 300 into 10 people, so that way your 100 can easily fight them and whittle their numbers down with no problems. Still holds true in terms of the art of war. Now that you have a better understanding of the map, I hope this really helps you out in terms of being able to plan your gathering routes or any potential gank locations, or even your ZVZ events if you're pushing or chasing massive groups. You'll always want to pay attention to your surroundings because intelligence or knowledge is always key to any battle. That doesn't change no matter whether you're in a video game or in real life. Same holds true for if you ever have to assault territories within the Queen update. You always want to know what entryways there are into that territory or into the actual main areas for that location if you ever have to push in and assault enemy players who are praying that the protection of their guards will keep us away from them. It is always constantly good to bring up the map and look at new potential positions if things change based on the battle itself. Never underestimate your knowledge or intelligence of understanding or knowing the map, or not taking advantage of your scouts that may be ahead of you or within adjacent zones to you. So the maps are just as important as having numbers, spec, or skill within this game. I do hope this has helped you guys out in understanding the maps and having a better, feel of how to play the game slightly better than most other people that you play around. Or maybe, hey, this could be a potential teaching opportunity to help those other new players or friends or family that have joined you on your adventure in Albion Online and help them grow and make them enjoy the game further. I do hope you guys have a great day, and I appreciate you all watching Warrior Gaming's AO Tuts today. Have a great one.